Hello, everybody. It is Saturday, August 26th, 2023. We are at the bus depot once again, waiting for the bus. We would have made the bus, but it left early. So we were here like exactly on time. Or actually, we were here a little bit early, but it left even earlier. Whatever. Anyway, so we're going to stay here for half an hour, waiting for the next round. Tired of the bus system. I'm going to sit down on the ground because I got nowhere else to sit. Oh, man. So it is Saturday. We're going to go out and about, do our normal begging thing today. We need about $70 to meet our goal. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. The hotel price has been a lot lower lately. So that's good. But we still obviously need food every day. And then Nano happens to need diapers today. We need wipes today. So that's what's going on. But yeah, we should hopefully be able to make that goal. But it's just, it's just an everyday thing. Other than that, this is going to be a hot weekend here in the eastern part of Washington. Are you watching him? Yeah. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it's going to hover around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But that should be the final throes of the summer that we're experiencing this weekend. I looked at the 10-day forecast, and after that, it drops at least several degrees every day from there. I mean, not continually. I'm just saying it's going to be several degrees lower overall. So we won't after Monday, starting Tuesday, there shouldn't be any more 100-degree temperatures. Hopefully, not even like 95. It should hover around like 90 after that from Tuesday onward. Once we get into September, and then we get into the opposite problem of it being really cold. We've been talking about that because that obviously is. That obviously is a problem or a concern or whatever you want to call it. With the heat, you just wear as light clothes as possible and stay in the shade and, hydrate and all this kind of stuff, right? But obviously with the cold, it's a whole different strategy. You gotta bundle up, wear layers. I'm gonna tell you what. From someone being born and raised in Southern California, we did not know what cold was until we went to Utah for the first time. And it started snowing in September. We were like, what? It was maybe like the 14th or so of September. And where I'm from, it's still hot in September. And it was snowing. We were like, what the heck? And it was just cold. Like, what we thought were warm clothes. Oh, all right. Nano's gonna put his tablet on me. What we thought was warm apparel was not. It got cold and windy and just like bone-chilling cold. Like, Becca, what was those pants that you would wear?
Wearing leggings with
Okay, Nano, get your tablet, man. Okay, that sound is right in my ear. I ain't put my hair.
Leggings with mesh.
Leggings with mesh on it. Yeah. So we were from the desert, and it got kind of cold, but you put on a little jacket
or sweatpants.
Yeah, sweatpants, and you're fine. One layer in Southern California, for most places in Southern California, unless you're high up in the mountains, and you're fine, right? That does not work. And
thermals and sweats.
right. And I don't know if you can hear Becca, but yeah, in the winter in like Salt Lake City, you need layers. You need thermals, beanie, scarf, maybe. I mean, the whole nine. Snow boots, the whole nine. It's cold. And so I'm expecting not as bitter cold here because we are lower elevation. That's the thing about Salt Lake. It hovered around, I don't know, like 4,500 feet elevation, whatever that is in meters. I'm sorry for everybody else in the world. In the United States, we go off feet and miles and all that. So I don't know what that is in kilometers or meters or any of that stuff. Anyhow, but we're lower elevation here, so it doesn't get as cold, but we're higher. See, this is lower elevation, but it's higher latitude, so it's still gonna get cold. It's still gonna get pretty bitter cold. Matter of fact, at the end of last winter, we were up a little bit more north. That's when we were in Wenatchee, Washington, and yeah, it got pretty darn cold. And so yeah, we're expecting it to be pretty cold here. And so for one, Nano and I both need jackets. My jacket was all just tore up with holes and it messed up and everything. And his the same. Plus it was getting small. He was outgrowing it. Plus it started to get holes and all that kind of stuff too. We had it for a couple years. And so Nano and I need jackets. So we're planning on hopefully somehow getting that around the first of the month. You know, because we get the first month money, and maybe allocate a little bit for that, or you know, one day I just go out begging and just try to get money for a jacket or something like that, or I might ask you guys. I don't know. But anyhow, just talking about things we need. Like I don't even wear socks in the summer. I haven't even been wearing socks because sometimes because it gets so hot, and I'll just take off my shoes sometimes. I just take off my shoes and just, you know, stand with my feet in the grass because it's cooler. You know, just it's so hot that I don't want more layers. So I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna even wear socks. I know it's gross. You know, my feet sweat in my shoes and all that. So I know it's gross, but it's so hot. So I'll just take off my shoes sometimes, just to cool off. So yeah, so anyhow, so I don't even wear socks. So I think I have maybe 1 or 2 pairs of socks, but I'm definitely gonna need to wear socks and maybe get more socks. And so anyhow, so my point is, yeah, we're gonna have to start preparing for the winter. You know, obviously it's a whole different strategy in the winter than the summer. You got to bundle up instead of bundling down, you know, layers and all this kind of stuff. And, so yeah, so we're kind of like just mentally preparing for that, you know, just thinking about what we have to do, and then all that stuff about like as far as right now, Nano, he goes out with us to bake. He doesn't bake himself. He'll just like stand there. He'll sit down, or you know, because we'll bring up a bag, or we have bags or whatever. He'll sit down on a duffel bag or whatever, and Beck and I are the ones standing there begging, right? But he's still there. He's still there. But when it gets cold, he's not gonna go out. We're gonna have to keep him inside the store, or if we have the hotel, keep him at the hotel, and then I'm gonna have pretty much, it's just gonna be me going out by myself and begging, is what I'm saying. So that's gonna be the strategy, because it's too cold for that little guy, you know. So that's what we did before, because at the beginning of the year we're still in Southern California. And it gets cold enough when you're outside, and so yeah, it was me pretty much, or me or Becca, but me outside, and sometimes in the evening it gets really cold, especially with the wind in the high desert we're at, and so you don't have to do a scarf and all this kind of stuff. And that was there. So, but here, like I said, it's gonna get colder, so I'm gonna have to definitely bundle up, go out by myself, and you know, just continue to, you know, earn money like we do every day. So anyhow, so yeah, so we're just mentally preparing, because it will transition fast, especially at these high latitudes. It's not like Tennessee or I don't know, Mississippi or something like that, or like I said, even in Southern California, where it stays hot maybe, you know, September, maybe into October and stuff like that. All in the southern states, Texas, Arizona and all that, it'll stay warm pretty much until like November, December. Maybe have some cold days or whatever, but at these high latitudes and these higher states, like I said, even Utah, Oregon, Washington, and definitely all the northern states, Montana, Wyoming, all that, especially because Montana, Wyoming, they're not just high latitude, they're high elevation, some of those places, so it gets cold. It sounded like somebody was screaming. It's not surprising. Deranged people all over. So yeah, all the northern states, the winter comes pretty early. It's like September, it starts coming around. And then obviously if you go up into Alaska, freaking winter is like pretty much in August probably, I don't know. People are nuts, man, I swear. I don't know who's yelling. The other day on the bus, there's a black dude on the bus, and we see him, he begs sometimes, but he's really to himself. Like some homeless people, they're like in groups because they do drugs, and so they're in groups with other homeless people who do drugs. He's by himself, this black guy, and I don't know if he does drugs or not. He's really to himself. I never talked to him or anything, but he talks to himself or shouts to himself. He was on the bus the other day and he was shouting, calling somebody racist, but nobody, just talking to himself. Somebody in his head, I don't know. Like literally, nobody was near him on the bus. Nobody was talking to him. Nobody said nothing to him. He was just ranting. So yeah, you see that. I mean, he's obviously not the only one. Yeah, there's actually a lot here in Eastern Washington, or in Washington in general. There's a lot of homeless, but a lot of druggies, man. A lot of druggies. Matter of fact, one approached me the other day, and he was trying to figure out like spots to beg, and he was curious about the drug situation. I was like, man, get away from me, man. It's like, get away from me. Just don't want to be bothered with your nonsense, because we don't associate with him at all. Now, I'm gonna tell you what. The good thing about the druggies is they're not consistent with their begging, because they get on drug binges, where they're all high for like, I don't know, a week at a time or whatever. And so the good part with that is there's only certain spots. So there's only there's only a certain number of spots you can go to beg to get money. Some spots are good, some spots are not so good. Like say somewhere around Walmart or whatever, right? And so all the homeless people, we know where the good spots are, like say around Walmart or around, I don't know, the mall or whatever, right? And so the spots get taken sometimes, and I've told you guys that before. You go to a spot to beg and someone else is there, right? But the good thing is when they get on their drug binges, a lot of times they're not at the spots begging anymore, because they're on their high, and so they're out wherever in the hell they're at. So they're not consistent, is what I'm saying. We go out every day to get money for food, for hotel, for, like I said, for stuff for Nano, for whatever, right? But them, as soon as they get their money for drugs, they just go get high for like a week, and then you don't see them anymore. So that's good. That's good for us, because then we get the good spots. Is basically what I'm saying. We get the good begging spots. So that works out. But yeah, sometimes you see them all smacked back. I think they do heroin and who knows what else, because sometimes they'll just be sitting like a little grass area and they're all like if they're on heroin, just all leaned over and just totally just smacked back, just out of it, just completely out of it. They're not even begging or nothing. They're not tired or sleeping or nothing. They're just totally drugged out. And so, but yeah, so the good thing is that they're not a begging competition at that point, So it's like, okay, just don't pass out around the spot. Just go somewhere else and be high and let us beg and get the money that we need so we have somewhere to sleep. We just want food and stuff and somewhere to sleep. So that's the good thing about that. But it's sad. It's sad. There's a lot of druggies in Washington in general, especially Seattle area. A lot of homeless. A lot of druggies. Spokane, that's another big city out here in Washington State. But yeah, this Tri-Cities area, Richland, Kennewick, and Pasco, a lot of druggies, man. A lot of druggies, a lot of mental health problems. Like I said, it's not just that one black guy. It's a lot of people. A lot of people. Just, like I said, talking to themselves or just shouting at random, nobody, just walking around aimlessly looking up at the sky. It's a lot of it. So that is one thing. If you do come out here to either live or visit, be prepared. You're going to see it. If you're driving around, you won't notice as much as us, because we're, actually on the street walking, and on the bus, and so we notice it more. But if you're, on the freeway or whatever, driving past or something, you might not notice it. But if you stop and look around, you'll notice it. Anyhow, so that's a big thing here. We try to stay away from them as much as possible. Like I said, sometimes they come up to us and asking us questions or bugging us or whatever, and just try to avoid them. Anyhow, that's what's going on. But yeah, preparing for the winter, preparing for the cold. Like I said, it hits early here at this latitude. It hits early. The cold comes early. September is because, like I said, I've been looking at the temperature, and I look at the climate data like on Wikipedia and stuff like that overall. And September is probably going to be a mix of warm days, maybe 80s, maybe 90s, and then just randomly you'll get temperatures will drop by like 20 degrees and it'll be like 70 something or lower, you know, and it'll get really cold and rainy. That's the thing about Washington too. It can pretty much rain or get cloudy on any day of the year, even in the middle of the summer. Just randomly, it'll get cloudy. And here, not rainy so much here in the desert, on the eastern part, but definitely in what's it called, Seattle, anywhere along the coast. They just randomly, any day, literally any day, I don't care if it's in the middle of the summer, any day, they could just randomly get cloudy and get rain. That's just how it is at this latitude, and higher, of course. So yeah, we've been in the middle of the summer, and it was in July and August, and randomly you just get cloudy day, and it'll get kind of rainy a little bit. And so anyhow, so September, I think, is going to be a mix of that, of some warm days, like I said, hovering around 90 degrees Fahrenheit, say 80 to 90, but then I have a feeling that we're going to get some days that are going to really drop down, especially as we progress through September, towards the middle and towards the end. It's really going to start dropping down, and then by October, that's it, no more warm. It's not like in Southern California, where in like where we were at in the high desert in Southern California, in November, December, randomly you get like 80 degrees day or even higher. It's going to be none of that. Once October hits, it's just going to be cold all the way. October, November, December, January, all the way back till whatever, March, April. So yeah, October. So that's kind of what we're planning on in our heads. It's like, okay, September might be kind of nice in between some good days or whatever, but it's like, okay, but that's kind of the final month of warm. And then once October hits, especially, we need to be prepared for the cold. So anyhow, so that's what's going on. I'm gonna stop rambling. You guys been here for a while. That's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.